I'm back. This is for part 2 of the general video. So, um, let's get going. So, I neglected to cover earlier the bare basics of generals. So, I will do that now real fast. So, these are epic historic generals. Gold is epic, but if you have the little crown in the top left corner, it's a historic general, and that's going to give it a little extra power boost than just a gold or a purple general. So you have purple historic generals too, and they're decent, but they're not as good. And they come out with them less often, and they don't have as good of buffs. But it's better than just a epic general that's not historic. So for those that can't coin a lot or can't coin as much, just get what you can, but your goal should be the epic historics. Um, so yeah, let's get into gearing a general. So gearing in general, why should I do it? What should I do with it? And how should I go about it? These are all great questions to ask yourself, and these are all done here in the Forge. So we'll start with low level. There is not much difference in low level if you craft the blue versus the purple versus the bronze. You're only going to get the set bonus, and that's about it. Um, but later tiers, so when you start getting into the light gold and darker gold, you will get to King's Gear. King's Gear you can get from bosses 10 and 11, and the Warrior's Gear you can get from bosses 9 and 8. So, King's Gear is the first decent gear you should get. If you're not a corner, not pushing fast, you should go save most of your materials and then get King's Gear at Keep 25. After Keep 25, you have Keep 27, which is Dragon Gear. And Dragon Gear is where you're going to start making the most percent and actually making stuff effective. So Dragon Gear is done at Keep 27. And after Dragon Gear, you go into Ares Gear. So Ares Gear is done under equipment upgrade. It requires badges, so try to get your alliance to let you participate in the BOC, Battle of Constantinople, and that is where you get badges. Other than buying them in packs, I believe the $100 pack offers badges. So right here is the number of badges I need. I need 800. I only have 525. It costs gold to upgrade, and it also costs more materials. So think about that when you're make sure when you're doing upgrades, you're doing them to what you want to upgrade. So you have a courageous dragon ring right here, and it tells you the killing monster XP, the double item drop rate from monsters, the siege machine attack, and increased gold production speed and other in the subordinate city. It also tells you the set attributes, which is the gathering speed when attacking monsters and attacking troops attack plus 10% if you have all six. So having all six as a K27 is beneficial, but as a K28, as a K30, sorry, you start getting into Ares gear. In Ares gear, you only need two sets of Ares to get all troops attack plus 15%. So, and then you see what the bonus is. You get higher mounted troop defense, siege machine attack, and you lose the double drop rate for monsters. So you have to look at what you're upgrading and why, and make sure it's beneficial for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get archer attack, well, would you do this? No, because it doesn't give you archer attack. But if you did this one right here, it gives you ranged troop attack. the Fearless Dragon Ring only gives you ranged troop HC and ground troop attack. So pay attention to where you can get the free extra percents as far as gear go, because refining is so expensive, and if you get your gear right, you don't have to make sure your refine is as perfect for mid-sized to lower level players and corners. High level corners, yes, I'm going to try to do everything I can and then also get those perfect refines the best of my ability. So building a general for keep 27 and below should be just a full set of what you have. So if you have a full set of dragon gear, you want a full set of dragon gear, get that extra 10% attack. If you're keep 30, I would opt out of that 10% attack and opt in for this 15% attack. And probably also keep either 4 pieces of Ares gear, or you can keep 4 dragon and 2 Ares. It's up to you and what you have the money for. I don't know why I'm sitting here on the Ares ring, because that requires you to unlock the King of Generals, which, let me show you real fast. You go to your Wonder, and you click on your Glory. So King of Generals. You click on it, and it'll tell you, unlocking requirements, own 6 epic historic generals, and each general power reached 3.5 million power. Not achieved, and that will enable you to Ares your ring. I haven't seen many people actually use Ares ring, especially since the Archimedes gear came out. Let's mark it. So, with that being said, going back into here, just a quick basic run through. If we were to do a keep 27, we'll start with the ring, and we'll do it for Archer. So Archer, you get range troop HP here, ground troop attack, and then march size capacity. Here you would get nothing for Archer, but if you plan on sending siege, if you're doing mixed attacks, you can, but I strongly recommend, if you're building an Archer general, to do everything you can to get Archer attack, even if you're mixing it. If you're doing a siege attack, do everything you can to get high siege attack, and then mix it if you choose when you're making your preset, which we'll cover in a later video. So, ranged troop HP, that gives you a ranged troop stat, so we would use the Fearless Dragon Ring. You go over here to your general boots, and you go to your Fearless Dragon boot and your Courageous Dragon boot. So you see, again, we have Siege Machine HP, Insta Siege Machine attack, all troops load, ground troop defense. You go to the Fearless Dragon boot, you're going to get that ranged troop HP again. That's beneficial to you because you're building a range-based attack. So you want your HP and defense to be higher on a range-based attack, because you're going to send majority ranged troops. Go to the Fearless Dragon leg armor. You have your ground troop HP, mounted troop HP, marching mounted troop defense, subsidy training speed. So again, that's not beneficial to range, but if you go here, you're going to get ranged troop defense, in-city ranged troop defense. That gives you in-city ranged troop defense, means if he's on your wall, you, with this gear, you'll get that stat will be activated. But it won't affect you if you're marching outside your city to attack something. So here we would switch over to Courageous. And yes, you get the set bonus whether it's Courageous or Fearless. Like, as long as it's Dragon leg armor, and Dragon chest armor and Dragon boots, it all counts as a single set, even though it's not the same Courageous and Fearless. So then we got your Fearless Dragon armor. So you have Siege Machine HP, Ranged Troop Defense, In-City Ground Troop Defense, Ground Troop Defense. So yes, you're getting that In-City Ground Troop Defense, but we're making a Marching General. So you have that Ranged Troop Defense, beneficial again to Ranged Troop and raising Ranged Troop stats. But you also have, if you use your Courageous Dragon Armor, Ranged Troop HP plus 15%. So you can do either. It really depends on what you want. So this gives you more marching stats. So if you're mixing your troop types a little bit, then this would be more beneficial to you. If you're just attacking with ranged, then I guess it would be more of a toss-up between ranged troop HP or ranged troop defense that you would get here. What I will say is this game is a numbers game. So if you come in here into your, I'll use a T11 since we're talking about Dragon Gear, and then you go into this, and it's your level 11 red square marksman. So if you boost the HP by 15%, is that more beneficial than boosting your defense by 15%? Yes and no. Getting these stats higher on both will help, but boosting 15% on a bigger number is a bigger boost. So just take that in consideration of what you're boosting and why when you're doing different troops. Like for a defense general and an offense general, unless you're making just a siege general, I always say to never upgrade your HP or your defense on your siege in your refines, because that shouldn't be your priority. If you're making a siege bomb general, yes, you want everything to be as high as possible. But if you're just trying to refine some siege, then HP and defense are the most pointless because your siege are sitting in the back, not really soaking up much damage, but dealing out more than they're soaking up. If that makes sense. And 14 is where you really see this come into play. But going back to it, why do I keep clicking on the market? Okay, so we hit everything except for the helmet, and the helmet is ground, siege, ground, ground. And right here you're getting ranged troop attack. So guess which one you should choose? It would be the one with ranged troop attack to build your ranged general. After that, you go to your bow, because that is what you get for ranged troop attack. In-city ranged troop attack is, again, if it's on your wall, but ranged troop attack. And there's a couple things here for you more advanced players that are ready for the Archimonidai gear. So this is going to have ranged troop attack, in-city ranged troop defense, but it's not going to be as beneficial to you as making a dragon bow and making that Ares if you're looking for an attack general. Again, the difference is attack versus defense. Is this general going to be on your wall? Are you ever going to want to use it on your wall? Why would you want different stats? You had to pay attention to the numbers. So right here you have the in-city range troop attack wall, right? Range troop attack 25%. Here you have range troop attack 30%. In-city range troop defense wall. The difference is if you come in here to, go in here to equipment upgrade, you're going to go over to your bow, and you look at the Ares bow, and you get the marching range troop attack and the in-city, not in-city, but the actual range troop attack is the same as it is on the Archimonidai gear, but you're also getting an extra 22% marching range troop attack. And then refines also go on an Ares bow just as high as they would go on an Archimonidai bow. So keep that in mind. And you're also, got that 15% attacking troops attack. That gives you 15% more ranged troops attack. And that's why I built it how I built it. So next we'll go into a basic refine on a archer general and why you would do what you do. My next video will have a me building a general with refines. So stay tuned for that. So Simeon the Great. This is my archer general. I do not have the Ares bow yet, just because I went straight for making more debuff gear, as I am a bigger player at a higher level on these early servers that I'm on right now. So I went ahead and did straight debuff, but as you saw, I had a bow in there ready to be made into Ares, which I will change soon. So right here you have the refines attributes down at the bottom. You have your range troop attack, your range troop attack, your range troop attack, ground troop attack. Okay, I got lazy and I should have kept spinning, but I found a good stat and I kept it for now until I have more refined stones and gems to refine that. So go down the list, range troop defense, 20%, 20%-ish, 487, 5.4. So this will come into play a little bit on your marching troop. Again, I'm not perfect on this. I'm just going to tell you what would be considered perfect. Your marching troop should have your range troop defenses all percent. And the higher you can get it, the better. Same for the range troop HP, same for the attack. Now, if you want to opt in for a plus-based defense and HP, it will help a little bit only on your lower tier troops. So, since lower tier troops, if you have a bunch of layers, say tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 even, this plus range troop defense actually affects it more than the defense of 20% stat, or even 25% stat. So for offense, definitely never do that unless you just get a good roll and are running out of refined stones and gems, and even gold, because it costs a shit ton to refine. But keep going down the list. Mounted troop defense, again, I got a solid one, so I left it. And as you lock more attributes, it gets more expensive to refine. So you see how my first two are probably pretty damn good, and after that they start suffering. And that's just a slow grind to refine a couple times and get it there eventually. Never do that. Never give up and just increase gold production unless you have no more refined stones like I did. So you kind of just run out of options, and that's what you're stuck with. But again, try to get your range troop HP. Don't ever do your siege machine HP because it's pointless. But again, I got a good stat and I locked it in for now, but we'll change it later. Range troop HP, range troop HP. You see, the last stat I can find, it wouldn't give me a range troop HP, so I gave up on rolling it for now, but I'll go back to it later. Range troop attack. So I would like to change that to a percent, and I would like to get that closer to 20 to 25 if I could. And then I would have the absolute max attack for this general as soon as I make this a Achaemenid bow to a Ares bow. So after that, you have your specialties, and specialties are different for different generals, as I covered in the last video. And these specialties are what's going to give you an extra little boost. So you see range troop gives me plus 6%. I believe it goes up to 10% when it's maxed. That gives me march size capacity and extra range troop attack. This will give me all troops attack, and this goes up to 36% archer attack. And I believe I showed you in the last video where you can check that, but I'll re-show you in case you chose not to watch that video. Recruit, portraits, any general in here that has a specialty, it'll show. So click in here, and this is the only way to really see a specialty for a general you own. I don't know why it won't show it to you, but this will show you the max specialty if you go in there. So that's basically Archer General and a basic Archer build. Just keep in mind your stats and why you would want certain equipment versus others and why you would want courageous versus fearless all the way down. Keep that in mind. Double check your stats and double check what you're doing, and you'll always get the higher percent and have the higher buffs than most people around you. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll be going over a ground general and possibly a mounted general as well if I have the time. So y'all have a good one. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Let me know how you liked the video. Like, subscribe. Thanks, guys.